Hello there. What's going on, everybody? Today I'm asking the question, are we getting a stealth ship in Star Wars Armada? How you guys doing? I'm going to be talking about this because there's been some little tiny leaks, and so I want to speculate and go crazy with them. But first, you may notice that you couldn't see me because I was cloaked. No, that's because I'm wearing one of the neck gaiters, or gaiter necks, depending on which you prefer, that we have down in the merch shop. So be sure to check those out. There was actually some talk about, neck gaiters. There was a study or something like that that said that they were actually not as good. But as somebody who actually bought one pointed out, it's like these are double layered, so they're better than the ones that were used in the study. So they should actually offer you some pretty good protection. Also, they serve the double purpose of being fashionable, and they can cover your ears when it gets cold. But if you don't like these, we've also got masks, we've got shirts, we've got all kinds of cool stuff. So that's a great way to support the channel. Also, there's links down in the description below. Right below this video, if you click where it says see more, there's all kinds of links for my Patreon. There's links for social media. If you want to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, there's links for Discord. You can go check out Crabbok.com. Also, there's lots of extra information if you're looking for all that or other ways to support the channel. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about the stealth ship. So you may remember the Battle of Christophsis from the Clone Wars. It's a pretty cool battle. It was a big blockade. Bail Organa was on the ground. The Republic was trying to get in, and Admiral Trench was like, "You're not getting in because I am a spider and my web goes wide." But then the Republic were like, "We shall penetrate your web." And I don't know who that was. It was like maybe some kind of Russian Jedi. And he goes, "I will get right through your web." And Trench was like, "No." So how did they do it? They had to take in a stealth ship. Anakin Skywalker commanded the stealth ship. It went in and did some crazy stuff. So stealth ship looked a little bit like this. Right? You may remember this ship from the Clone Wars. A lot of us had kind of thought, hey, maybe we would see something like this, and how would cloaking work and all of that stuff. Well, before I get into all of that, here's why I think we're getting this. And I think we're getting this sooner rather than later, like maybe wave 3 of the Clone Wars. And I've got reasons. But one of the reasons is an artwork leak. So for those of you guys who are only interested in Armada, you may not have noticed it, but in a recent X-Wing preview, we got some card art for Agent Terex, and he's in the one of those G-class light shuttles for the First Order, and you may notice a ship behind him. It looks awfully similar to Tarkin's Carrion Spike, which is basically the same ship from the Clone Wars, or the same class. Maybe not the exact same ship, but basically that class of ship. And so basically, if they're showing that ship, that's a pretty good indication that type of stuff is coming. And I think it kind of has to, right? I think it has to come for the Republic because, frankly, there's only so many ships they can do for the Republic. There's not very many, and so I think that's kind of important to kind of point that out. And it was an important battle. We meet one of the best Separatist commanders in the battle, in the episode that has that ship, which is Admiral Trench. And he's awesome. And we do finally see him again later in season 7. But when we first see him, he's amazing, and he's almost like Thrawn before there was Thrawn, right? And so it's not quite as good, But I would love to see Trench versus Thrawn. Oh man, that sounds pretty cool. Let me know in the comments below if you think that would be a cool matchup, and hopefully we'll get him as a commander. I'm certain we'll get him as a commander because, look what we have here. If you notice in the Munificent, or the starter, like I'm pretty sure he'll be becoming, because he was on a Munificent, right? He's right there. Like, we might have missed this during Gen Con, but there was art, because we were all focused on all these ships up here. We kind of missed this big piece of art right there. Hey, Trenchy, he's right there, and you can pet his fur. No, but seriously, Trench's art is right there, so they've obviously done artwork for him and featured it here, which means he is going to be a commander. I mean, and well, I don't think there was any doubt that he was going to be a commander. I think the fact that he's going to be, that they have his artwork featured on this means he comes in that pack. And there you go. Now we are probably going to get 2 commanders in here, so him and then the T series droid. Basically, we're going to get that as well, or was it Kalani or whatever? So yeah, I think that's the 2 that we're getting in this particular pack. But I think Trench just being in the game is like a reminder, like, hey, you kind of, if you're going to have Trench, you probably have to have that one, that ship that was in his episode and in no other episode. And I don't mean the ship that he's on, but I mean the ship that went up against him. Which would be, and if we don't get Anakin Skywalker in the launch wave, which we may not, it makes perfect sense for Anakin to come with the stealth ship, because he took direct control of that. There's nobody else that should come with the stealth ship. It should absolutely be Anakin Skywalker. And so now I'm putting, 1 + 1 = 2, or 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. So Anakin's important. You have to have Anakin. We know we don't have him yet because Obi-Wan and Bail Organa are the 2 commanders that we know are coming for the first set. And so while we do have a Venator coming, I don't think you give that one to Anakin. I think you give Anakin, because I think you put Anakin with the stealth ship, which means by wave 3 you got to have Anakin. I don't think you go like 4 waves before you have like the most important character in all of Star Wars. So I think Anakin comes in wave 3. I think we're getting the stealth ship in wave 3. Now, here's where we get into some other cool things, because, again, I talked about the Carrion Spike, right? It was also Tarkin's ship. Tarkin's ship was very similar, was described as being very similar to what the stealth ship looked like, that long ship with the cloaking device. And most of the artistry accounts of it actually have it looking a lot closer to this one as opposed to this one. So maybe, I don't know if it'll be the exact same class of ship, or if it'll be like a modified one because it came like 20 years later, or maybe less than 20 years later, probably only 10 years later. But yeah, this ship right here, I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they're similar enough that I think by getting this one, we'll also probably get the Carrion Spike come out for the Empire. Now, you could say, hey, because of that artwork, they may only do the Carrion Spike for the Empire and not the stealth ship for the Republic. And I say, no way. There's only so many ships they can do for the Republic. They need to use every single canon ship in the book, because I think they've only got a handful more left until they then have to start doing like repaints and alternate versions and stuff like that. And there's plenty of those too. And I'm not in a super hurry to scrape the bottom of the barrel just yet. But I do think the stealth ship is a really cool opportunity to add some new fun mechanics into the game. Now, how would cloaking work in Armada? Now, that's a really interesting question I think we can talk about, because I think you already have a built-in mechanism for cloaking to work. And it's kind of the same thing that you have when ships deploy mid-game. When Radis is going to have somebody hyperspace in, that's basically the same thing that you would do when a ship cloaks. I think when a ship cloaks, you pick up that ship and you place an objective token, or maybe a cloak token. Maybe you make a special token, maybe underneath the ship, or maybe at distance 1 of the ship. And when it decloaks, you place it at distance 1 of that ship. Now, obviously, there would have to be some type of penalty or something like that for game balance. Like, is it something you get to do automatically? Because rapid repositioning like that could be a little bit broken. So maybe it requires that you skip a turn in order to cloak. Maybe decloaking is fine, but in order to cloak, maybe you have to skip a turn or something like that. But then again, at the same time, if you're placing it willy-nilly like that, you could end up facing the other way, and it could give you turns that you couldn't actually do in real space. So, it may be a thing that you can only do one time in a game. That you may not be able to like recloak. But maybe there's maybe you can only recloak once per game. Maybe it's a one shot that you can do, because it presumably could be very, very powerful. I think you should still be able to be shot while cloaked, and if it hits, then it immediately breaks your cloak, and maybe your opponent gets to place you. So maybe it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing. So I think cloaking is like there's 1,001 possibilities on things that they could do, but I think the fundamental way you do it is the same way you've done, your reinforcements that come in late, or the same thing with that you do with Radis when you have hyperspace people coming in that you place a token and the ship, when it decloaks, it's treated the same as a ship that hyperspace is in. That's kind of my prediction. But I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comments section what you think. What do you think about the likelihood of the Carrion Spike coming for the Empire? Again, we do need more Empire and Rebel ships too, so this is a great option. What do you think the likelihood of the stealth ship coming for the Republic? Do you think any other factions will get cloaked ships? Or do you think it's just going to be maybe these two, since these are the two that are maybe most likely? And if so, I don't know if I really have a problem with that, because hey, you know what? Different factions need their specialty tools, right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You are all amazing. I could not do this without you, so thank you for your continued support. If you're interested in becoming a patron, check the links in the description below. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.